Wow. So this video, I thought we'd do a video on how to remove fear and anxiety from the body. Fear can be a debilitating thing, stop you. It seems fitting. I'm about to travel across the world, and every time we travel, it brought up some level of anxiety that came up in the body and also about the face, like one of my biggest fears. So I thought we'd dive into how to deal with,
how we're
overcome,
navigating
and navigate through fear and anxiety in the body so that it doesn't stop you, but can actually be an entrance or a door to some of your biggest excitements, passions, and gifts in life.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me, I think 5 years ago when I met Chris and I was telling him about my anxiety I was always experiencing, you said something to me that has always stuck with me since. You said anxiety and excitement are the same chemicals created in the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way you interpret, view, and embrace them. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a same chemical compound released, but the label chooses whether or not you embrace that feeling or you run from it. So the difference between somebody who is
you resist it or you
like a
hate
thrill
it.
seeker or somebody who is like entrapped in their comfort zone is same feeling. It's the label of whether they resist it or they drive towards it.
It's crazy.
Excitement.
Not for everything, like the really deep fears or anxieties, just knowing that doesn't work for me right away, but having that perspective allowed me to change a lot of my anxious little moments and like anxiety feelings in my stomach to excitement, and then to like really embrace and hone in on that feeling, and which is why I was also like talked so fast and was so loud and at that time, because I was trying to flip the anxiety to excitement.
Yeah, when you go up on stage, or when I would be on stage, you get this, your heart would beat really fast, and you get these nerves, and that's like one of the most powerful ways to deal with it, is you flip that fear or anxiety to, well, I'm really excited for this energy coming up on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of crazy when you think about it, like everything that we're resisting or driving towards is just a feeling in the body. It's like literally just a feeling. And there's there's a few books on this, but when you experience something, especially like when you're younger or traumatic, or it could just even be like some level of experience that puts you in fight or flight that you are not allowed to fully express and release, you could interrupt that cycle of expression. Like if you look at animals, they naturally, or like prey animals, they may have, maybe like a lion comes up, attacks them, they'll be in fight or flight and have to run, get all their organs prepared to run away. But as soon as the threat is gone, they shake off and they release this somatic expression, and then they go back to a neutral state.
Yeah, and it's
a
usually
calm nervous system.
through shaking.
Yeah,
so like
somatic shaking.
They go into fight or flight mode. They literally fight or they flight. They shake it out, and then they're back in harmony with how they naturally are, which is similar to humans. Is also, I think humans, they don't do the shaking part.
Well, they might.
The somatic release part.
Yeah, they might stop the expression midway because there might not be a socially acceptable, or within that environment, the ability to fully express that energetic expression.
Yeah, to release that emotion that they're feeling. So then it becomes repressed.
And
inside the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it gets trauma. It gets saved there for years and years and years and years, and then whenever that fear or that anxiety comes up that's attached to that old memory, it comes up, but then because it was never allowed to be expressed, it's like you're resistant to it too. It just stays there.
Yeah, as soon as it comes up, you're like, you push it back down. You're like, I don't want to feel that again. So you're resistant to the feeling, and it never gets expressed. It keeps getting like held in, and after a while, that can create physical problems and ailments from restricting movement or energetic flow in the body to be released, and it's just stationed in subparts, create all these different problems. But yeah, the ability to,
which also can sometimes manifest as physical symptoms too, like IBS or like that. I mean, for me, for example, all of my anxiety and everything I held on to since I was a child was directly related to my gut. And I had IBS like, I think since I was like 10 years old. Like I could not shit at all. Biggest problem of my life. But now, because I feel like I'm like yelling this out to the to the whole apartment complex. But now since I've completely been able to solve that, flip it, and release all of that stuck, pent up energy, guess what else released?
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, there is something there where between the body's shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic, you know, when you're in a relaxed state, it moves the energy towards healing, resting, digestion, and a variety of other mechanisms, and it designates its energy in that direction. But when you're in a state of fight or flight, it will shift the energy to the escape organs or the fighting organs, so move all the blood flow and energy to focus on escaping or fighting, and it doesn't focus on healing, it doesn't focus on digestion, it doesn't focus on rest. And so the ability to get your body back into an equilibrium, a calm state, and your nervous system to a calm state can help with healing, digestion, resting, and a variety of other functionalities that get disrupted if you're constantly in a state of fight or flight.
Yeah, and that was like me because everything triggered me as a child and made me go into that anxious mode. Like pretty much anything besides being at home in the comfort of my own room triggered that. So I don't think my body was ever in the rest and digest mode that it should have been, and that's why I had so many physical symptoms that were unsolvable according to doctors.
Yeah, just never letting the body heal because it's constant in like this fight or flight state.
Yeah, and especially if you're not taught that to go into the rest and digest state. Like if your whole family operates out of fight or flight too, subconsciously, like we're not aware that we're doing it, then the kids naturally are just programmed and wired in that way as well to react to life in that way. So
yeah, it gets carried on, passed on as a natural state of being. Like I remember, definitely for a big portion of my life where it was normal to operate on stress. Like that was the default mode, is being in stress, and all the work I did was reliant on stress. All my actions were reliant on stress. How I was communicating with people was out of this fight or flight, and learned to integrate or react or operate out of the stress. And it's quite a while where I realized I could release the stress, be in a calm state, and actually be way more, there's some cool research on the enhancements in creativity, your healing processes, and your functionality. If you can be in this, you don't have to be in fight or flight to get work done. You can be much more productive, much more creative, much more in flow, get higher levels of ideas by being in this relaxed or even excited state of mind. Get additional dopamine, and it's just overall, but that just comes through literally a label of the feeling, allowing the feeling to be there and be fully expressed, and not controlled or resistant to it, because energy comes and it goes. Like emotions will come and they'll leave unless you hold on to them, like, whoa, don't, like, get out of here, or you hold it, then it stays. What you resist will persist.
Yes. Yeah, so in a more practical sense, because I know some people are gonna be like, how do I do it? In a more practical sense, there's multiple ways that we've done it to release that stuck energy that was in the body from like traumatic events or experiences or things that we held on to or reacted to in our childhood. And number one is obviously meditation. You can turn on the rest and digest mode through meditation and start training your body
They get
and
into a
your nervous
theta
system.
or gamma state of mind.
Yeah, your nervous system, to start relaxing and teaching your body that it's now safe to relax and that it doesn't need to be
And fight or flight.
in order to be productive or to just function in life, which was like, that was my biggest lesson, is I don't have to be in fight or flight or anxiety mode to get things done or to live life, which
You can actually get more done in
Yeah.
a state of peace.
yeah, I mean, I think I've gained much more value by resting in a state of peace and then being able to operate from that, because the energy you give out is the energy you get back from others too. So
Yeah, it's contagious as well.
yeah,
Through cell mirroring, who you're around. If somebody's in a state of fight or flight, you can take that on. Your heart can sync with theirs rhythmically, and your cells can mirror the people around you. So it is contagious. If you can get in a state of peace, that's also contagious and helpful to help others rest as well.
Yeah, honestly, that would probably be number 2 then. The people you surround yourself with, you are subconsciously mirroring.
Yeah.
So if you could surround yourself with people that maybe operate from like a calm, or if you can't, because like,
Yeah,
I
sometimes
mean-
people are in different environments. You might be with family members or not have
Yeah.
control over your
or like
environment,
maybe
but-
your whole circle was manifested from your old state of being anyways, and the only people you know actually like function in that state of being.
Yeah, it can
And-
be a big thing to shift your whole world, but
Yeah, and to like go find different friendships or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think we actually started finding groups of people that were more on that wave when we started traveling and leaving our hometowns and stuff. So if that's not possible, then there's also somatic release techniques.
yeah, letting the body do that, essentially shaking or expel that extra energy so it's not kept inside. And you can do this through dancing, like some people do expressive dancing. You can do it literally through shaking. You can do it through tapping.
I think one of my favorites and something that's worked insane for me and changing a belief system, not through meditation, but in the present moment, is doing EFT tapping. So I'm not 100% sure on the science behind it. I did watch a video about it, but I just recently started doing it. But basically you're tapping on, I think, 8 points on your body, and you are basically like working yourself through whatever trigger is coming up. And it kind of, it's hard to explain. In a sense, it takes away the ego from the body, and you're able to more so process and look at that emotion and trigger that's there rather than it being you.
Yeah.
Because it's always like you're reacting to it because you think that's you. But
Sure.
then the tapping almost puts you in the moment. And it's also like you are tapping on the Chinese meridian lines in your body, the same thing that acupuncture targets, to put your body back in that restful state. So it allows you to process the emotions much more easily, bring them to the surface, acknowledge that they're there, and then start almost like tapping into a different reality once those have fully been uncovered, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, definitely. It's
Yeah.
it's really effective. I've been trying this and working with Atri on it, and it's crazy what comes up. Like literally, there'll be it brings to the surface everything there and allows the energy to come up. And sometimes it may need to be expelled via emotions like crying or be released or such.
I yawn a lot during it. And at first I was like, why am I constantly yawning? I never yawn. And I was searching it up, I guess, through like that's a somatic release. And it means that your body is releasing that energy. Is you can either like yawn or cry or toot or there's multiple ways here, or shake.
Yeah, that your body expresses that additional energy or releases it.
Yes, that has been crazy for me. Actually, we started that 2 months ago, and the progress in that is almost instant for me. Like, I don't know. I think I want to definitely study more into it and kind of
Yeah.
understand more what I'm talking about in it, but I would recommend trying it because the application.
They start to
Crazy.
realize that most of your life is dictated not by the logic, the thoughts. The thoughts are essentially a mechanism to justify your feelings, but essentially most of your life is guided subconsciously by these feelings of like, oh, I don't like this because it makes me feel this way, or I like this feeling. And when you realize that you can release and start releasing these energetic feelings from your body, it shifts not only the feelings there, but it also releases trigger points that may be tied to so many other areas in your experience of life that literally you might start noticing things that you didn't even know were tied to that be shifted in your external reality just because they were subconsciously linked with the avoidance of that feeling.
Right.
And all of a sudden now allowing that feeling to be expressed, it's no longer dictating or
manifesting your
yeah.
physical experience.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, your whole reality shifts after that. You make one shift in your body and in your mind, then your whole reality outside changes because it all comes from within. Okay, your world is made up inside first and it's projected on the outside. So it's been really cool doing that because I love when I recognize that and make those shifts because then I'm like, okay, I'm excited for like what's gonna change and what's gonna come up.
Yeah, there's always big shifts that you're not even aware of yet, but you start like noticing. I'm like, oh whoa, I don't feel this way anymore. Restricted from this, or this is released, or this
like
is easy for me
maybe
now.
there's a certain
that was hard,
person that had an energetic hold to before, and then it's clear with them, or whatever that feeling may be tied to. But it's quite a fun experience once you start doing it, and every time you do it, you get more and more freedom within your body.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a video if wanted, or if it would be helpful, like guiding through that process of like the tapping process.
EFT tapping.
Yeah, EFT tapping, some of the other works. But yeah, in general, the mechanism is that fear, anxiety is essentially just a feeling in the body. And if you can allow it to exist without like knowing that it actually can't hurt you, that feeling is not you, it's just a wave of feeling that can come and go, and allowing it to come and then leave as it is, it can be extremely powerful. And so it's sometimes hard because of how uncomfortable these feelings can be, but through mechanisms like meditation, breath work, EFT tapping,
somatic release,
it
can
just
help
helps
you
expel that energy from entrapping you, and compressing your life in a way that doesn't allow you to live the fullest experience of life that you could.
Yeah, it's quite literally like just fully embracing the feeling, allowing it to be there almost in a way where you're like, okay, I love you feeling even if you're here. And then once you get to that point emotionally, then the feeling's gone.
Yeah, it's like once you release the resistance to it, it leaves. But it's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's an acceptance for the feeling being there, and it finally is able to leave.
And I've tried to accept it through my mind and be like, okay, I accept you. But it's not the same. If I'm like trying to pretend like I accept it just so it can go away, is not the point.
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to accept it for it to leave because then it will stay because you're like subconsciously low-key in resistance to it still. So it's a matter of actually coming to full acceptance for it being in your body.
Yeah, I've seen other tactics used where essentially, just so you can be aware that your thoughts or that feeling are not you, that you can label that anxiety or that fear or that feeling with a specific characterized voice, separate from yours, like a cartoon character or something like that, where every time you hear it, it's a separate character, like this cartoon character that has this voice that you can allow to be there because it's not you, it doesn't affect you, it's not hurting you, but it's allowed to exist, and you don't have to take it on, and then you don't fight it the same. And it's just an easy tactic to, if you actually visualize that voice being, you know, this garbly cartoon character, and give it a characterization where you can immediately recognize when it comes up that it's not you.
It's like
It can be
Inside
really
Out.
powerful. Yeah, like Inside Out. Yeah, I guess Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that kind
It's
of type of concept.
That emotion comes back up again, but
Yeah,
that's not
exactly.
you.
Exactly.
That is just the emotion of fear.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be really powerful.
Just being aware of yourself. You are not your thoughts, and you are not your feelings.
Yeah, you are the awareness of those things, and they come and go.
100%.
With that said, I think our son's leaving, but we
don't
can
have a
expand on
son.
any of this if. See you, Jimmy.
Oh my gosh.
But if you want us to expand on any of this, I know there's a lot of things we touched on. Maybe we'll do like a guided tapping
EFT
or
tapping
yeah,
exercise. Yeah.
then
We'll
let
do
us
that.
know, or if you have any questions. But just remember, you are not your feelings. They're just simply feelings, and once they're allowed to be expressed, they leave, and they're only held when you resist them.
Remember, if life is a video game, you are not the character in the video game. You're the person playing the character.
Yeah.
That's your quote. And also we have a email.
Yeah, maybe we'll put. We actively write pretty much anything that comes to our minds on there.
Yeah, like this,
or thoughts, and also we're gonna add meditations and work and support as well. So if you want that, it's completely free down below.
I think the link is for our free beginner's guide to meditation that we created. So it will send you your first email being that. And yeah, we'll write up an email this week too, just talking more in depth about this and whatever else comes up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
As always, love you, and we'll see you soon.